Namaskar, all of you. Welcome to this session. We are coming to the conclusion of the Sutra on Drushya, that is, Sutra on metaphysics of Prakriti. And we were told that the Prakriti manifests in Bhutendriya Parinama. And then it is Prakasha Kriya Sthiti Shilatva, and then it is Bhoga Pavargartha, and then Vishesha Vishesha Linga Matra Alingani Guda Parvani. So, quite an extensive subject matter of metaphysics of Prakriti was considered, and in metaphysics of Prakriti, we considered the teleology, ontology, and cosmology. So, extensive topic was covered in these two sutras. Now, we are going to take a bird's eye view on the topic of metaphysical Prakriti. Of course, this is not the physical Prakriti that we have dealt with. It is metaphysical Prakriti that we have dealt with. That means it is not an object of our empirical process, sensory process. It is not that all that we see. It is behind all that we see, which is metaphysics. So, Prakriti is basically subject to law of parinama, law of change, law of parinama. Not that Prakriti merely changes, but there is a governing principle behind changes in Prakriti. So it is ever evolving matter. Prakriti is actually not a matter. It is creative cause. If you recall, right at the outset, we are in habit of calling Prakriti as matter. But Prakriti is not matter. There is also metaphysical aspects with which we are dealing so far. And this creative cause, Prakriti, for which there should be no English word and there is no other word for it in any other language, the Prakriti must be considered as Prakriti, should be labeled as Prakriti and should be referred to as Prakriti. The import of the sutra term, the terminology cannot be getting into any other translated mode of this term. So, Prakriti is ever evolving, it is ever changing, and this is the cause behind phenomenal creation, which becomes our object of perception, object of sensation, object of senses, object of mind, object of intelligence for we mortals. So, Prakriti is ever changing behind this phenomenal universe. That is the material behind the phenomenal universe. Now, about this matter, the matter is a term that we know in our common man's parlance. But let's try to understand it philosophically. Matter is not merely what is, but what becomes. So, Prakriti is not, or the matter is not what is, but what becomes, and it is series of particular perishing presentations. So when it comes on phenomenal plane, it is a perishing presentation. It would be perishing. All that we see phenomenally is perishable. It is perpetually a fleeting flux. So metaphysics will tell us about Prakriti or the matter as constantly ever fleeting flux. And in that sense, it doesn't have stability. So without any stability, it is a fleeting flux. The matter that is visible to us, to our senses and to our perception and cognition, is ever changing, so there is always something going to latency. As the phenomenal matter moves from newness to oldness, this is incessant. This is incessant, absolutely incessant. The matter is always appearing, so the potentials become actuals and actuals become latent. This is the Prakriti Parinama that is taking place. So although the things appear to us as stable, what was yesterday is today, and what was for last couple of days and couple of months and couple of years is still there, and we think it is still the same, but that is not true. Moment to moment, matter is going towards its perishable condition. There is a perishability. It is heading towards its perish. Everything in this world phenomenal is perishable. And therefore it is moment to moment heading towards its terminal condition. So this will be discussed later in more details in third chapter called Parinamatraya. Dharma Parinama, Lakshana Parinama, Avastha Parinama. The new thing doesn't remain eternally new. It is going from newness to oldness, moment to moment. It is having this movement from newness to oldness. And therefore, there are some kind of changes which go unnoticed, and for our naked eye perception, we don't think or don't see any changes. Like any object or structure which is going to last for a couple of decades and centuries, we think what it was yesterday is the same today. For instance, where you stay, your house, you don't see the change in the construction, the civil structure, day by day, while the change is taking place from moment to moment. And for our empirical perception, we do not see the change that my house is changed from yesterday to today. But we see the change in that civil structure maybe in couple of decades. The new building which has come up today will remain new tomorrow, will remain new day after tomorrow will remain new for the week to come and weeks to come and month to come and months to come and year to come and years to come. It will go on referring to as a new house. But little insight will tell us that that is not true. Anything that is created is going towards death. Everything that is created is going towards end. If it is going towards the end, it is going that way moment to moment by moment. But for our empirical perception, we don't catch it. If a cloth was new yesterday, it is still new for us today. But the microscopic vision will tell us that is not true. If it was new yesterday, it cannot be that new again today. It has become some old, because its journey towards the old or oldness commences right from the word it is created. Right from the moment it is created, it is produced, it is heading towards its end. So, therefore, the matter is said to be fugitive and fleeting flux. Constant changes are there. We don't notice in our naked eye perception, naked intelligence, naked mind. However, that reality cannot be ruled out. So each object is fugitive. This is what a metaphysicist would be telling us. Each object of our senses, object of our mind and psyche consciousness, each object is fugitive and passes over into different states, and each latter state is out of connection with earlier state. And that's why we say the moment gone is moment gone. The time is such a factor that it will not come back. The moments which have gone to latency will never come back again. And we will never stay for more than a moment. A moment doesn't extend for more than a moment in any case. And therefore it will be going through different states which are not cognized by our naked intelligence or by our practicality of the mind. It doesn't appear to us that the state is changing. And then it is disconnected to its earlier states, because there is no way of reviving it once again. Gone is gone. Gone is gone forever. So each latter state is out of connection with earlier state, which is a fact to be admitted. The things in spatial world come and go in quick succession. The time runs identically for everything and everyone all the time, in any place and in any time, any space or spatially. That's what spatially the moments are identical to all. So in spatial world, the things come and go in quick succession. The events in the temporal order likewise change and vanish. The body is subject to mobility, morbidity, metabolism, catabolism, One form of energy is transformed into another, and the psychic process is a stream of moment to moment modifications, and every state is only for a moment. Precisely. Every state lasts for one moment. Next moment, there is some change, not for our temporal world, but factually, really, there is a change in the things. So, the metaphysicists tell us about the naked truth about the whole phenomenal world, material world, the world of matter, the world of Prakriti. Now, while what has been mentioned, in the light of that, we have to counter the panpsychists, because there is a sect of thinkers. They say all is mind, panpsychism. Or in our philosophical system, there is something called as Adhyasavada. Adhyasavada means all that we know is imposition. So our knowledge is all impository according to some sect of thinkers, Adhyasavadins. So the Adhyasavadi says that the whole Jagat, the whole world, the whole Vishwa, the whole universe is nothing but as it appears to us, it is all pratyabhasa. It is all abhasa. The things don't appear, they are. The things are not taken as they are. The things are taken as they appear. We designate the things as they appear. We never designate the things as they are. And in that case, we will not be able to designate at all because moment to moment changes are there. For instance, the fresh milk remains milk for some time. But the fact of the matter is that fresh milk which has just been gotten from a cattle, as the moments run, the milk is changing moment to moment. But our designation doesn't change. We refer it as milk for quite a while. For a whole day, we will refer it to as milk. And maybe after some time, we might say this is not fresh milk, but milk. Nomenclature doesn't change, although the matter of milk is constantly changing. But our designations remain for undue duration of time, and that is perfectly in line with convenience of business activity of life. We cannot be changing nomenclatures every moment. So, the things are for us as they appear, and things are not as they are for us in our business activity of life. And these Adhyasavadis, they tell us that whole Jagat, Prapancha, Vishwa is Adhyasa on Brahma, the Brahma Tattva. We never see the things as Brahma Tattva, we see the things as things, but they say it is Pratyabhasa, it is Pratyaropa, it is imposition. That this is rose and this is milk and this is lotus and this is table, this is gold, this is silver, this is metal, this is water, this is stone. So it is all adhyasa on Brahma. Sarvam khalvidam Brahma is the statement that they use to substantiate their position. So they say it is all imposition on Brahman. So they are all aropa and they are all pratyabhasa. So on Sadrupa Brahma, we impose Asadrup Jagat. On existent Brahma, we are imposing non-existent world. So for them, world is not existent at all. Not only it is not existent, it is imposition. What is actually is Brahma Tattva. But then we say this is rose, this is lotus, this is water, this is fire, this is river, that is mountain, this is stone, etc., etc. So just as in illusion we took the example of imposition of snake on the rope, Rajju Sarpa Abhasa. So what is at sight is actually rope and we impose snake on it. This is what is the illusion. But when you have a proper knowledge and perception, you say, oh no, this is not snake, but this is rope. So there is disillusionment. And what appeared as snake is now revealed as not a snake but a rope. So these philosophers who are Adhyasavadins, they tell us by Yathartha Jnana, the bhasa, that imposition would go away, illusion will go away, and there would be disillusionment. And that will be Brahma realization. And then it is there, then they say that Jagadabhasa is on Brahman. And that goes away by Acharyopadesha, and that goes by some of the instructions which they cite in Upanishads, such as Tat Tvamasi, that thou art, Aham Brahmasmi. So all these Upadeshas, when they fall in right place and ripen, then what you get is Brahma Drushti and not Vishaya Drushti. So the Jagadabhasa would be going away for one who has ultimate realization according to these Adhyasavadi philosophers. Now these Adhyasavadins have been questioned, who try to mention their point of view about the visible world. They say all that visible world that is around you, as you see the things as they appear, and therefore you label them that this is rose, that is lotus, this is gold, that is coal, this is water, that is fire, this is mountain, that is river. And that is Jagadaha Bhasa, because these are all Jagad Padarthas. Rose, lotus, water, fire, river, mountain, snake, elephant, lion, tiger, cat, mosquito. These are all Vaishvika Vishayas and Padarthas. So they are all imposition on Brahman. This is the position of this Adhyasavadi philosophers. Now they are questioned by the Vedantis themselves. They are questioned by Vaishnava Vedantis, they have been questioned, they have been examined by Naiyayikas, they have been examined by Sankhyas, and they have been examined by Vedantists, other Vedantists who are not Adhyasavadins. They are questioned by the Mimamsakas, and they are questioned by other philosophers who have other positions. And they examine their theory of imposition, theory of Adhyasavada. So these are the question. Because they say, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma Ekameva Advitiyam. It is only one without anything that is second. There is only Brahman and Brahman and Brahman and nothing else. And on the other hand, they say there is imposition of world on Brahman. So there will be little inconsistency in the Adhyasavad tenets. So there is Jagadabhasa on Brahman. Now, whether that Jagat, whether that world, whether the Jagat is Sat or Asat, if you are imposing something on the Brahman, the object of imposition, is it Sat or Asat? Is it true or untrue? Is it existent or non-existent? Because they are holding, Adhyasavadins hold that it is only Brahman, Ekameva Advitiyam, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. There is no second thing. Where is the support or locus for something to be imposed on, which is only one thing that is existent? Other things don't exist at all. So what is imposed? Is it real or unreal, true or untrue, existent or non-existent? If you say that it is existent, then your position gets detonated, because you say Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma and Ekam Eva Dvitiyam. There is nothing second, no second thing at all. There is only one thing. If there is only one thing, where is the object to be imposed? There must be second object to be imposed. There must be snake somewhere to be imposed on a rope. So the rope is also true and the snake is also true. Both are existent thing in the world. So one existing thing can be imposed on another existing thing. So your position of Ekameva Dvitiyam, as interpreted by you, gets invalidated, because you cannot be imposing a non-existent thing. So there put a question, does it exist? Is it Sat or Asat? Is the Jagat Satrup or Asadrup? Of the nature of Sad or of the nature of Asad? Of the nature of existent or of the nature of non-existent? And this is because, as just now I told you, Rajju Sarpa Abhasa, Rajju Sarpa Viparyaya, snake and rope illusion, or Sthano Purusha illusion, Shukti Rajat illusion. You have these kinds of illusion, nacre silver, rope and post, the man and post, and rope and snake. Now both are existing somewhere, and therefore one existent thing is imposed on another existent thing. We don't impose non-existent thing on existent thing. So the imposed and the thing of imposition, both are existing somewhere, and both are existent things, and nothing of them is non-existent. Non-existent thing will never be imposed on existent thing, or the vice versa. So there cannot be one, as they hold in that monism of Adhyasavada, They cannot hold as one, there must be two. If Brahman gets imposed, or there is imposition on Brahman, Jagadabhasa on which Brahma will be true and Jagad will be equally true. So both will be equally true for one to be imposed on others. Asad is never imposed on Sad. Therefore, we never impose Narashrunga, Shashashrunga on something because they don't exist at all. So these are non-existent things such as hair of a horn of a hare, horn of a man. Now these never exist. A man doesn't have horn, nor the hare will have horn, and therefore we never impose horn of hare or horn of man on anything. So non-existent things are never imposed, always existent things are imposed. So, therefore, your position of Advaitam in the sense of monism gets dislodged. So the Brahma also should be Sat and the Jagat also should be Sat. Then only there is possibility of imposition of Jagat on Brahma Tattva. Now one may question why this discussion has been brought up in the course of what we delineated in the sutras, the two sutras 2.18 and 2.19. What is the relationship of Mayavada in what has been postulated by the sutras, the two sutras that we considered so far? Is there any relationship, or is it something forcefully drawn purport in this particular topic that we are discussing? Now, if this Mayavadi, Adhyasavadi ventures to say that Sadrup Brahma is imposed with Asadrup Jagata, Asadrup world, then it would be different than Rajju Sarpa illusion. It would be different than rope and snake imposition, or any other imposition such as lamp and man and post, such as nacre silver. So we have seen various kinds of illusions during the Viparya Vritti. So these are all Aindric objects or Manasik objects, mental objects or sensory objects. And here what we are discussing is something cosmic and universal principle. Now these sensory illusions will occur to one and all, everyone, because of so many factors. Such illusions cannot be ruled out. So at some point in time, sometimes or the other, we will be getting such illusions, and then there will be disillusionment as well, and then perhaps there is again re-illusionment to appear. The point is, illusion is a badha, is an obstruction, limitation that is faced by every living being. But it should be also noted that these illusions are not universal. If I am getting illusion at this point in time, it doesn't mean that others will also get the illusion at that point in time of the same same object. So there is subjective element in these illusions. There is no universality in these impositions. When you get illusion of snake or rope. It doesn't mean that everyone around will have at the same time the same illusion. Somebody may have, somebody may not have. So it is not universal in that sense. There is a lot of subjective influence in these illusions which are vrutyatmak viparyaya. So it is not universal. But Jagadabhasa on Brahman is universal. Every one of us will have this illusion, Jagadabhasa on Brahma. It is Indriya Nirapeksha. It is not sense dependent. It is not dependent on the senses, because otherwise senses get the illusions. So this is not dependent on the senses. And therefore these Advaitis have an argument. They say we are speaking about this universal illusion that everyone will have all the time, unless it is revoked by Jnana. So it is also a logical illusion. Tarkatita. That is how this imposition is. This is how they try to take a defense. Now let's assume for a moment that Jagat, Vishwa, Prapancha, the world, phenomenal world, are actually totally asadrupa, that they do not exist at all. And this is what is posited by Adhyasavadi philosophers, Adhyasavadi Advaitis, Mayavadi Advaitis. So, all that which is classed as universal objects, Panchamahabhuta, Sharira, Indriya, Manas, Ahankar, Mahat, Avyakta, right from objects to all this, they all will get classed as asat, non-existent. And so these Adhyasavadins are questioned. If you are going to label, make a blanket statement that everything is unreal apart from Brahman, Brahman is only true, Brahman is only Sat, Brahman is only existent, and all other things are non-existent, all these postulations which have come in even Upanishads, Vedopanishada, which has come, got mentioned in Itihasa, which have got mentioned in Purana, which has got mentioned in Shastras, are you going to dub them as non-existent? Because even the Upanishads, which are so coveted to you, the Upanishads say, Tasmad va etasmad atmanam akasha sambhutaha. Akashad vayuhu vayoragnihi agner apaha adbyam prithivim. Prithivyam aushadaya aushadibhyo annam annat purushaha. This is a quotation from Taittiriya Upanishad 2.1.1. Then another quotation from Aitareya Upanishad. Atma va idameka agramasit naanyat kinchin mishat sa ikshata lokanu srujati. So Aitareya Upanishad also says, yes, Brahman was there right in the beginning, but all got unfolded from him. Naanyat kinchin mishat sa ikshata lokanu srujati iti. then are you going to say that the creation of that Brahman is all false? He has created this. It is his creation. And all these Vedantis and all those theistic and deistic people posit that all this is his creation. Now, are you going to say that his creation is all false? His creation is all untrue? He is a creator of untrue world? Then there is also a quotation from Taittiriya Upanishad 2.7.1 Asadva idam agra asit tatova sad ajayate. So how are you going to account for these statements? Asadvam idam agram asit. And tatovai sad ajayate. From that all these things came. Tasmadva etasmad atmani sarve prana sarve loka sarve veda sarve deva sarvani bhutani anuscharati. Maitrayani Upanishad 6.32. That means the Shastras are mentioning about creation. Now, are you going to dub them as all untrue? Itihasa, Purana, Smriti, they are all mentioning Srishti Krama, cosmological unfoldment. They are all mentioning how the cosmology gets unfolded. Now, do you mean to say that all this creation is Asadrupa? Do you mean to say that this is description of non-existent world, non-existent universe? Is it non-existent creation? So this is absurd to hold that whole creation means creation of non-existent. Because if you are holding that all creation is non-existent, only one Brahman is Sat and nothing else is Sat. So, there is some absurdity. It is like giving history of son of a barren woman. Try to conceive this. History of son of a barren woman. Biological account, biographic account of son of barren woman. Or the Janma Kundali, astrological chart of son of a barren woman. Is it not absurd? So, this is how they are refuted. The Adhyasavadins have been refuted by Sankhyas, by Patanjalas, by other Vedantins. And that's how their tenet, that it is all Maya, in the sense they posit, Adhyasa, as they say, it is all refuted totally. The Patanjalas, as we are dealing with, they are adhering to Veda Upanishad and Tanmulaka Itihasa Purana Shastras. In all those Shastras, the Srujanam is described. Creation has been described. And therefore, in Patanjala philosophy, it should be borne in mind, well deeply engraved in mind, that Adhyasavada is not at all accepted. Adhyasavad has been rejected. Adhyasavad has been set aside. Because in modern world, there is a lot of influence of Adhyasavada as Vedanta, as if that only is Vedanta. Adhyasavad is only Vedanta. So any student of Patanjali's philosophy should understand that Adhyasavada is totally and absolutely rejected by Patanjalas. In toto, it has been rejected in toto absolutely. So this must be noted by student of Patanjala or Sankhya of Patanjala. Now we were mentioned about Alinga, Linga, Avishesha, Vishesha Parvas. Now what is after Vishesha? Because up to Vishesha, from Vishesha to Alinga, these are all metaphysical stages. They are not referring to phenomenal world that we are citing. We are seeing the world in the form of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. We are seeing all these universal things, from sand particle, dust particle to planets and stars and huge, gigantic stars, galaxies, nebulae, countless objects. Now, all this is post-Vishesha Parva. Patanjali is mentioning up to Vishesha only. And up to Vishesha, these are all metaphysical phases. They are not sensory objects. They cannot be sensed, they cannot be cognized in empirical faculties. They are all samadhi vishayas. They are all samadhi objects. So that's all metaphysics. But then the Vishesha is further evolving into phenomenal universe, which gives us Brahmastambha Paryanta Vastu, which gives us all kinds of objects, from barest monad to entire universe, entire boundless cosmos, boundless universe, galaxies and whatnot. And what is all that? That is all post-Vishesha Parva. They are becoming our sensory objects. They are becoming our mental objects. These are the objects of us. Vishesha is not our object. Avishesha is not at all. Linga Matra is further not at all. Alinga is not at all, absolutely not at all our object. Then what are our objects? So let's try to understand the physics after the metaphysics so far considered. So we will launch on this, which speaks about phenomenal world around us, describes phenomenal, provides phenomenal world for us in the form of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, in the form of sensory objects, in the form of mental objects. But that is next time. Enough for the time being. Namaskar all of you.